Hi, I'm Lee, and today I'm going to take a break from making my usual retro gaming retrospective videos. I'm going to put my PR professional hat on in order to help you as a content creator. You see, when I'm not playing old video games or collecting old video games, I make a living as an international marketing and PR manager for a video game publisher. Oh, it's true. My name's in the credit of a bunch of games and everything. Now, when you happen to stumble across the email address of a PR or influencer or community manager in the games industry, especially one who is representing a game you want to play, it's commonplace, of course, to send them an email. Sometimes you just shoot in your shot, and sometimes it's for a game you genuinely want to play. But creators, listen up and let me give you some top tips on how not to piss off the PR person at the other end of the emails, and improve your chances of getting those codes. Drop this video a like, subscribe to the channel if you like video games, all that jazz. But with that out of the way, let's crack on. It's 2025, and I cannot believe I am still having to list this one as my number one tip. But please, for the sanity of every PR person in the games industry, put your email address in your bios. YouTube, Twitch, TikTok, Kick, Trovo, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, MySpace, Google+. Whatever platform you release content on, your email address should be in your bio. You can create an email address specifically for content creation shenanigans, but whatever the email address is, put it in your bio and use that same email to message us in the first place in order to ask for a code. Why is it every time you ask anybody in games PR, they give you the same answer about emails in bios? Why do we ask for it? Well, firstly, it's a really simple way to validate yourself. Look, one of the first checks that we do this side is we check that the email address that you've sent the request from matches up with the email address on the channels that you claim are yours. If it is, we know it's you. YouTube, for example, does have the ability to allow us to reveal the email address associated with the YouTube account. However, did you know that we can only do it 3 times a day? Let's say we get 150 code requests, which is not unusual. Let's say out of those 150, 120 of them are YouTube content creators. Again, perfectly normal. Now let's say all 120 of them have failed to put their email address in their bio. We can only check 3 of them. So already you are down to a 1 in 40 chance that we will actually give you a code. Seriously, it's not an odds game worth playing. Put your email in your bio. Also, if a brand or product wants to discuss an opportunity with you and your email address isn't visible, guess what? We're going somewhere else. So it is 100% in your interest as much as it's in mine. Here you go, this is mine. Email clearly in my bio, everywhere I create and publish content. Yours should be something like this. So look, don't skip this part. You might have heard it before, but don't skip it. Right now, pause the video, go and check. Check your bios. Check to make sure that everywhere you publish content, your email is in your bio. I'll wait. I will wait. Off you go. You got your emails in your bio? Right, let's move on. It would be super useful if you could put in your email where you're from. You see, lots of publishers and developers have different people that cover different territories. So, example, if you're from the UK and you email the person that looks after PR for the US, that's not the right person to go through to. And you can get in their good books nice and quickly by saving them the hassle of having to find out where you're from by just telling them in the email. Because if you do that, that PR person is far more likely to forward it over to the correct person to come back to you. Sometimes when it's super busy, it might just be well, they're not from my territory, forget it. Don't run the risk for yourself. Put what country you're in for, and we'll make sure that you're dealing with the right person. Now, you might not feel that you're blessed with brilliant writing skills, and maybe English isn't your first or native language. Maybe you're lazy and you think that using an editable script to request multiple codes at the same time with 0 effort is a good idea. But I promise you, those email scripts are not a good idea. If you create content in your native tongue, we will totally understand if your English isn't great. I'd rather have a dodgy Google Translate than one of those scripts any day of the week. Because, let me tell you something, you're not the only person that uses them. We get them all the time. All the time. Endlessly. If you've worked in any form of games, PR or communications, you can basically recite them. 100% you'll recognise the structure, but you can pretty much learn them word by word. And trust me, those emails are big red flags. For you people that are just lazy or think you're being clever, it really doesn't sit well this side. All it tells me is that you can't be bothered. Seriously, think about it. You are asking me for a game code worth up to 70 quid or $70 or 80 euros, whatever it is, and you can't be bothered to write an email to ask me for that code. You genuinely think that the best way to introduce your channel and your content is to cheat and send a copy and paste template with words changed. I mean, seriously, from our side, if you put the same amount of effort into your content as you do into sending us a copy and pasted scripted email, that tells us that you put zero effort into your content. So why on earth would we give you a code? So please, look, we don't need war and peace, but at the very least, make it personable. If you know their name, put their name at the top. Make it relevant to the game that you're asking for. Otherwise, your request will just get filed in the bin. When we say metrics, we don't expect you to be marketing professionals. I don't expect you to understand the difference between a CPC and a CPM. I don't need you to know what a CPCV is, but please do take the time to understand basic metrics for your channel and content. Including that info on an email is a really great way to save us a bit of time. And it also kind of shows us right away that you've at least got some semblance of understanding about what you're doing. If you're a creator looking to grow and looking to make a career of it or do it for a living, you've got to think of it like running a business. You've got to be a marketing manager, you've got to be a brand manager, a community manager, a PR manager. You've got to be a graphic designer, you've got to be a video editor. You've got to get your head around all that stuff. But one of the most important tools to work out what content you produce works is your metrics. I want to know simple top-line metrics for your channel. If you're on Twitch, you should know what your average concurrent viewer count is. You should know how many followers you have. Not that it matters. You should have an idea on your average engagement rate. Twitch Analytics on your creator dashboard tells you all this. If you're a YouTuber, you should know the average video view rate you get. You should have an idea on the average click-through rate you get. You should know how many subscribers you've got. Again, the analytics page in YouTube Studio will tell you all this. Including this sort of top-line metric information in an email to us will automatically get you a thumbs up from me. I mean, I might not give you a code because your metrics might not be high enough, but thumbs up for the effort. Also, don't bullshit your numbers. We can and will very easily check them. And if you lie to us, you can kiss your code goodbye. Not every single game needs creators with millions of views. There's value in smaller, tight-knit, niche communities. But being able to tell us why your smaller, tight-knit, niche community is ideal for our game, we're probably going to listen to you. One of the best bits of advice my dad ever gave me in my younger days was about standing out. You see, back in my youth, when you applied for a job, for example, you'd have to physically print your CV onto a piece of paper. That CV, along with every single other applicant's CVs, would end up on the desk of a hiring manager, every one of them bearing the same sort of info and the same sort of style and the same sort of layout. But my dad advised me to stand out. To print my CV just like everyone else, but not on standard A4 copy paper. Instead, print it on bright yellow paper, on bright pink paper. Hell, print it on lime green paper. That way, when all those CVs are sat on the desk, the hiring manager would be instantly drawn to this mysterious, colourful CV, which happened to have my information on it. It was a novel idea, I give you, but let me tell you, I got a string of interviews just on the basis I am sure that my CV got noticed. The same sort of thing applies here as well. The people at the end of the emails that you send, we're human beings too. We spend a lot of our time looking at our laptops, looking at our monitors, trawling through emails and messages that all look the same. But you can make an email stand out. If your chosen email platform allows, maybe use your brand colors as a background. At the very least, try not to use the same standard default font. Use one that you use in your own content creation. Change the color of said font, or highlight keywords in bold, or change the colors of certain words. It's little things like that that will immediately jump out to us as soon as we open your email. And I, for one, am far more likely to read it. I understand that not everyone has or can afford Photoshop, let alone know how to use it. But building your own media deck is a really genuinely excellent idea. And there's actually quite a few image editing software programs available for free on the internet that you can use to do it. Take this one, for example, which is my own media deck. A clean, simple deck that gives an overview of my content, top-line analytics, some examples of content, and some previous collaborations I've done, as well as the all-important contact info. This deck was built in a program called GIMP. I'll put a link in the description, which is pretty similar to Photoshop, but without some of the bells and whistles. But it's free, and it's pretty easy to use. And there's also a bunch of really great tutorials on YouTube on how to pretty much do everything on it. So it really shouldn't take you too long to work it out. If you truly, genuinely cannot figure it out, there's plenty of sites like Beacons and Linktree, which will basically do it for you. From our side, having a media deck shows that you take things seriously. It shows us you're passionate about your content and your brand. And it's an opportunity for you to show off your branding and your creativity. It's one of those things that, yes, it does take a lot of effort to build it in the first place. But once it's done, it's a really, really valuable tool to be able to just drop into an email. I know I appreciate them anyway. Finally, I feel like I've got to touch on this, and that's about following up. I don't know what your perception is of games PR, community, influencer managers, and what it is you think we do all day, but I can categorically assure you that we don't sit there staring at an inbox, waiting for an email from you to come in. There's an absolute ton of stuff that goes into a successful games launch. So sometimes when you send an email, we're not available to be immediately on it. Also remember, if you're getting in touch about a code, you can be pretty certain there's a load of other people trying to do the same thing. And often that causes a bit of a backlog. There's so many requests that it takes us longer to get back to each person, especially when they don't put their fucking emails in their bios. So please, fire your shot by all means, but do not harass us. If you've not heard back from me in an hour, I don't need a reminder. I don't need a message on Twitter. I don't need a message on Instagram. I don't need a message on TikTok. I don't need you to comment on a random old YouTube video of mine. I don't need to be tagged in a post, and I certainly don't need 5 emails in the space of a day of increasing levels of hostility, demanding to know why I haven't dropped every other task I have to do on that day just because you've sent me an email asking for a free code. Be patient, give us time, don't be a dick. So there you go, 7 tips that I think will help you be more successful in reaching out for code via email. I can't promise you that you'll succeed every time, and I can't promise you that every single PR person in the games industry has the same preferences as I do, but I think I'm pretty close. Thanks a lot for watching. I look forward to receiving a glut of highly personable, relevant emails with strong links and top-line analytic data that's decent to look at, includes the country that you're from, and with bonus points for a media deck. Just make sure you go and put your email in your bio. Feel free to drop a like and a subscription to the channel if you like anything to do with video games. And do feel free to drop any questions in the comments below. But I am a busy guy. I don't need endless reminders if I don't answer the questions straight away. Until next time, thanks for watching, be awesome to each other, and I unconditionally love your hecking faces. Especially if your email's in your bio.